Hi everyone! Are you struggling to find or pick a niche? Most people are, so stick around because that's what we're talking about today. Welcome back everyone, I'm Alan, and on this channel we talk all things sales funnels and online business. Now, you've probably heard a million times before that the riches are in the niches, or that you need to niche down, or something like that. And I am sorry or happy to report that this is true. Which is why in this video, we are going to learn 21 places where you can find inspiration and ideas to choose your own. Now, I have many more videos on how and why to choose a niche, but today we are just going to focus on where to find them. So this means we are not going to focus on validating them, narrowing them down, choosing them, and so forth, but just where to find ideas. Now, just remember that the main reason why people can't or don't niche down isn't because they haven't found a niche, but because they simply don't have the courage or willingness to commit to one and to say no to all the alternatives. So even if I give you 100, 1,000, or 1 million places to find a great niche, all of this won't matter if you aren't willing to pull the trigger and just commit to one, at least for a while. Now, you can think of picking a niche kind of like picking a parking spot, which means that there will always be a better one, but you are much better served by just choosing one instead of spending all day, all week, all year looking for a better one. So let's go ahead and jump right in and take a look at 21 places for you to find niche ideas. The first place to find ideas are on actual physical bookshelves. Now, this can be at your local Barnes & Noble or Walmart or Target or anything like that. Now, I know some of you might say, well, books are dying, everybody only buys them on Amazon now, blah, blah, blah. But this is actually an advantage or benefit for you because this means that these bookstores and big box retailers only put out the things that actually sell. So go ahead and check out what kind of magazines are they offering, what kind of books. All of these are great sources for potential niche ideas. The next place to find ideas is on the Amazon bestseller pages. Now, this could be books or products, but the point is that Amazon has already done the work for you, and they're pretty much giving you extremely valuable information of what people are actually spending their money on. So no matter what your niche is, definitely check these pages out to see what books are selling a lot, what products are selling a lot in your niche. And even if you don't find anything super relevant or interesting to you exactly, the point here is to find interesting angles and points and sub-niches that you may have not considered before. The next place to find ideas is by just wandering around marketplaces. Now, as a reminder, a marketplace is anywhere where buyers and sellers go to meet each other, to exchange goods and stuff like that. So this could be Amazon, eBay, Upwork, Fiverr, and anywhere like that. Now, on one hand, you can just literally wander around. And this is why this is a little bit different than the bestsellers pages, because here you aren't necessarily going for the top sellers, but you're just looking for idea inspiration. And a sneaky source of ideas on this topic is to look at reviews. So this means if you look under books or products in your market, look at the positive reviews and see what people like that those things offered. On the other hand, look at the negative reviews and see what people didn't like and see if you can solve those problems as well. The next place to find ideas is kind of similar as wandering around Amazon, but this time you're going to wander around actual big box retailers with actual brick and mortar stores. So no matter what it is that you sell, you would actually definitely benefit from wandering around the automotive section, the home furnishing section, maybe even the kid or baby section in your local Walmart or Target. Yes, these things may not exactly be related to exactly the thing that you sell, but all of these are great places to at least jog your memory and imagination of potential niches for you. Now remember that places like Walmart and Target and any other brick and mortar retailer are very critical with their shelf space, which means they are only going to put out things that actually sell. So just keep that in mind. So now let's focus on you. And another great place to find great niche ideas is with your own purchase history. Now, this can be in your Amazon order history or in your credit card statements or anywhere like that. The most important thing to keep in mind here is that don't be shy about how obscure or rare or weird you think that thing that you bought is. So whether you bought a piece of electronics or a piece of home furnishings or you paid a coach or anything like that, you are definitely not the only person willing to invest in that niche. The next source of ideas are your own pains, problems, and frustrations. Now, you may have heard the phrase before, scratch your own itch, and that's exactly the case here. So if there's something that annoys you about your microphone or your fitness trainer or your doorknob or your laptop or whatever, then you can create a solution to solve that problem for everyone else. The opposite of focusing on your pains and problems is to focus on your dreams and goals. So whether you want to be a singer, you want to grow your business, you want to run a marathon, you want to run Facebook ads, pretty much any goal or desire that you have, you are definitely not the only person interested in pursuing that goal. The next place to find ideas, if you're brave enough, is your search history and Google searches. Now, this casts a wider net than your purchases because this shows what you're interested in, what your questions are, what you're considering buying, which can all be a very valuable source of potential niche ideas. Another source of ideas, which is similar, are your browser bookmarks, which are pretty much pages and ideas and content that you felt necessary to reference later or that you thought was important. The useful thing about bookmarks is that you probably already read or watched whatever is on that page, but you found it so useful, so relevant, so referenceable that you felt compelled to bookmark it so that you can look at it later. So definitely keep those in mind as well. The next source of ideas is your watch history. Now, this can be on YouTube, on Netflix, or on anything else where you've actually committed and invested your time into watching. Now, given that our time is the most valuable resource that we have, the things that you are willing to spend your time on, especially if it was more than 20 minutes or a half hour, shows that that is a topic that you are extremely interested in, and of course, you are probably not the only one. The next source of ideas is your actual bookshelf, which could be your bathroom or your desk or bedstand or anything like that. Now, your bookshelf is kind of like the upgraded on steroids version of your watch history or bookmarks, because these are things that not only were you willing to spend money on them, but you want them to take up permanent room in your room or office or house or wherever. The next place to find ideas are around you right now. So this could be around your room or your office or your house or anything like that. So for example, right now around me, I have a USB microphone, I have a laptop, I have books, I have a box light, I have push-up bars, I have a bunch of other random little stuff like that. Now, all of those things are totally different, but all of those are potential niches that I could go into. Now, of course, most of those things that I just mentioned and most of the things that you're going to find are probably not going to be directly related to your market or audience. But remember that we are just brainstorming here and writing down as many ideas as we can. The next source of ideas are your passions and interests, which are different from your goals and desires that we mentioned earlier. So your passions and interests don't necessarily have to be goal-oriented. So for example, for me, I am into space travel and a bunch of other weird things that I won't get into here. But the point is that no matter how weird you think your interests are, and part of this can kind of go back to your bookshelf, just write it all down. The next source of ideas are your skills and experiences. So an easier way to look at this is what can you do and what have you done? Or an even clearer way is what problems can you solve for someone else? Now, keep in mind, this does not mean that you enjoy the thing. This just means that you can do the thing and that you can help somebody else accomplish the same outcome. The next source of ideas is your family and friends. Now, I'm going to take a wild guess and imagine that your family and friends probably like totally different TV shows, movies, songs, products, and so forth than you do. And this is actually good news. Because as entrepreneurs and marketers, we kind of get trapped in our own brains, our own interests, our own experiences, and stuff like that. But we can actually learn a lot and profit a lot from other people's interests that we can't relate to at all. The next source of ideas are public forums, which are pretty much any place where a group of your audience comes together to discuss their problems, to ask questions, to get help, and so forth. Now, the most popular option here is probably Facebook groups right now, but there's also Quora or Reddit and many other sub-niche forums and websites where your specific audience goes to ask questions. The next source of ideas are your competitors. Now, the first thing I will say here is that I am absolutely not suggesting that you copy them, but I am saying that you at least look at and take inspiration from their offers, their best performing content, their sales, their websites, and so forth. One thing to keep in mind about competition is that you actually want to have some. So I know a lot of especially new entrepreneurs say, oh, somebody else is already in that niche, or somebody else is already selling that product, or blah, 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 so I can't do it. That is the opposite way to think about it. Because if you want to go into some random niche and there's nobody selling books or consulting or whatever, and there's no videos or content in it, then that means that other people probably tried it, but there wasn't a market for it. Another sneaky source of potential niche ideas is in the autocorrect or autosuggest or autocomplete feature of YouTube or Google or any other search engine, including Amazon as well. Maybe you'll find fitness coaches for CEOs or for busy moms or for boomers or anything else like that. Now, the best thing about this is that one, it's free. Two, it's relevant. It's what people are actually looking up and probably willing to spend money on. And three, this can give you ideas that you didn't even consider. Your next source of ideas are all the Google tools available to you. Now, you may have heard before of Google Trends or Google Correlate or Google Alerts. Now, all of these are great ways to find potential ideas, content, and just general niches. Now, there are tons of videos about how to use each one of these platforms, so I won't go into it here, but just keep in mind that Google offers you a ton of free resources and platforms to help you find keywords and niches and stuff like that, and I forgot to mention Google Keyword Planner as well. The next source of niche ideas is with keyword research tools. Now, every single marketplace and search engine pretty much has keyword research tools available. So for example, YouTube has TubeBuddy and vidIQ. Google has many other tools available as well. Even Amazon has Jungle Scout and plenty of other options as well. So all of these are great tools that can give you insight into what people are searching and spending money on. Our next source of niche ideas is foreign markets. Now, in today's globalized world, there is absolutely no guarantee that the popular trend will start in your personal country. In fact, the chances are actually against it. So obviously this is a little bit harder to do, but if you have a family member or friend living somewhere else, then you can ask them, what products are selling? What ads are you seeing? What songs are popular? What type of coaching is being offered? And whatever else relates to your market. And the absolute best way to find and choose a niche is to hit the like button and subscribe below. If you learned something interesting today, it does help a lot. Now, when you're finding or choosing or creating your niche, keep in mind that there is a very fine line between crazy and crazy success. So of course, there are exceptions and examples to every suggestion that we've talked about today. But what matters most is that you balance your creativity with your perseverance, and that you balance all of that with practicality and profitability as well. And the rest is up to you. For more help generating leads, building your list, and more, then definitely grab my 20 ways to get more leads and sales from your funnel below. Well, that wraps us up for today. Thanks everyone for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one.